earth was moist beneath my feet. I could feel God's heartbeat with each footstep. As I moved about the sanctuary, the pellets of rain baptized and cleansed the earth and me. The angels' voices were carried in the songs of the birds, and the trees bowed to show their submission. The branches were outstretched in praise, and the water, it rippled and flowed, anointing everything it touched. I walked into the heart of God. I watched his handiwork. The stones began to cry, and as I walked barefoot and naked through the paradise, I began to feel redemption. The ebony earth moist between my toes, and the whispering wind carrying and contouring the hymns of love and falling water. The lushness of the greenery was all I needed to know that God was listening. God was listening. God was listening. God was listening to the trees pray, and God was listening to me. God was listening to me. Hello and welcome to Be in the City. I'm your host, B, and we're in Southfield, Michigan today with David Myles from Milestone Productions. How are you, David?
I'm good, Ber-Henda. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having us.
My pleasure.
David, what prompted you to start Milestone Productions?
Well, you know, I was a band leader, and I elevated what my band did by taking a very strategic and business-like approach to our exposure. So I'm doing the same thing with young artists.
And who are some of the younger artists that you're working with?
Well, I've got one act right now that I've got my full attention on, and that's 777. It's a vocal trio.
So 777, what's their sound? What's their feel?
Their feel is definitely R&B. If you can imagine a group with Tina Turner, Diana Ross, and Aretha Franklin in the same group.
Wow.
It's like that, and that's no bluster.
So as in any production, you always need a great team. So who's helping you execute Milestone Productions?
Ber-Henda, I've got a great team. Giselle Caber is my VP of Operations. She really makes sure everything stays in line. Allie Newmark is my social media specialist, and you know that's where it's going, so that's crucial. Then my talent coordinator is Michael Lamb, and they all have my back, and they see the vision of what I'm trying to do with Milestones Productions, and we have a good time, and we're doing good work.
You have a CD.
I do.
Yes.
My CD is entitled Patina. It's my debut CD, and we're having a ball promoting that, and it's all original music, and we just enjoy the whole process.
Personal, I've been having a ball listening to it. Thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure.
Look forward to hanging out with you in the studio.
Well, let's get to the workshop.
Okay, so let's get to it. This is Be in the City. So where do you think you're going? Stick around to see what's hot in the city. here with David Myles. Mr. Myles, what are you going to play for us?
This song is called 3 Mile Drive.
Take it away.
All right.
And I am here with the incomparable and legendary David Myles. Thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you for the compliment.
So tell us how you got started in the music industry.
In the music industry. Well, I've always loved music.
Okay.
My family has told me that I loved it from a child, from a very, very small child, just listening to it. Variety programs that came on television, I was all in. Of course, my parents were deep into music. Whole family was deep into music as far as listening and appreciating music. So I've always been into it, and I was so fortunate that my father made it possible for me to take guitar lessons when I started when I was 12.
Okay.
And I just took to it immediately. I had a fantastic teacher, and at that time, there were so many people around Detroit playing music and looking to play music. So there were garage bands. Everybody's cousin played something, so we were trading off information. And if one person learned a new technique with the instrument, he shared with everybody else. That's how I started.
And speaking of techniques, who are some of your inspirations?
Oh, man. Automatically George Benson, of course. Even before him, Wes Montgomery.
And so I'm sure you're familiar with the Gypsy Kings.
Yes.
So when you hear that, again, that blending of cultures, and you can hear like the Arabic influence mixed with the Spanish influence, what would be another layer that you would add to it to put your own spin?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd put a beat. A stronger beat, yeah. Put something under the bottom that gives it some pulse. Okay. Yeah, it gives it a little funk, if you would.
Okay. Yeah. So Motown flamenco.
I like that. Morinco.
Yeah. So who's at the forefront of this new sound, in your opinion, in the city of Detroit?
Definitely Amp Fiddler would be one that I would name.
Oh, yeah.
Monica Blair with her energy, I would consider her as well. Al McKenzie, keyboardist, quite extraordinary. Very traditional in his approach musically, but energy-wise, he's very innovative.
So tell us about your latest venture.
Okay, well, my latest venture is to try and help some new artists come out of Detroit and expand their music around the world. I've got a company, it's called Milestones Productions, LLC.
Okay.
I've got a fantastic team of brilliant people working with me, looking for artists, helping me stay on point and expose what we're doing here in Detroit to the rest of the world, because the world is waiting for another sound from Detroit.
I think they are.
They are.
I would agree.
So,
what's one good rule of thumb in terms of business practices that you would advocate to a would-be singer or musician? What's one thing that you think that they should do automatically?
No limits. If they have a dream about their sound or about where they want to go, don't limit what they want to do.
And if they're approached by, let's say, management, we're explaining the difference between management and an agent.
They can be the same thing now. And again, so many labels in the industry have been crossed over, because there can be a producer who is as well a manager, or there can be an agent who owns the act. But typically, a manager will be a more personal approach to that artist's career.
And as we look now to our superstars, we see that they venture into music. That they start maybe with music, and they go into clothing lines, and they go into fragrances, and they go into acting. At what point in an artist's career should they consider about diversity? Again,
if it's a part of their dream, then they should follow their dream. And that's what's so beautiful to me about the hip-hop culture, is that the entrepreneurial spirit was a big part of a lot of those artists. They knew they wanted to be into movies, even though they were just doing a mixtape. They knew they wanted to start a clothing line, even though they had their first CD. So we had never, traditionally, most artists didn't think like that. If they were able to get to that point, it was by luck or happenstance. But what's so beautiful about the young artists and that young attitude, the old adage about paying your dues, they don't believe in that. And I'm all right with that. You know what I mean? Because that momentum is what keeps music going, and keeps the art going, and keeps the business going. And that's what they've done. They've turned a career from a rapper into an actor or an actress, into an entrepreneur who sells clothes all around the world. And I'm very impressed with that.
Thank you so much. Don't go away. We'll be right back with the legendary David Myles on the guitar. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Myles.